Hey, this is Professor Fay with your anatomy lesson of the day. Today we will draw the spinal cord. So first we're just going to make an oval, and then we're going to go ahead and draw in the gray matter of the spinal cord. So that's got kind of a butterfly or H shape to it. In here we'd have neurons with axons that are unmyelinated, giving it that grayish appearance. And then we can go ahead and draw in the posterior median sulcus right here. And the anterior median fissure is a little bit wider. So I'm gonna, just kind of make that a little bit of a wider structure. And then we've got the two posterior white columns, the two anterior white columns, and then the lateral white columns. And then in the butterfly shape, we've got the two posterior gray horns and the two anterior gray horns. Some segments of the spinal cord have little bump outs right here. Those are called lateral gray horns. Also in the center of the spinal cord, we've got the central canal, which would be filled with cerebrospinal fluid, and that's located in an area of the gray matter called the central commissure. I'm sorry, the gray commissure. So then we're going to talk about how information is able to pass into the spinal cord and out of the spinal cord. So we'll start with drawing laterally a spinal nerve, and we'll connect that this way. This enlargement that I'm drawing is a dorsal root ganglion or posterior root ganglion. And then here's an anterior root. So you can see the posterior roots and the anterior roots merge to form this spinal nerve that would extend out through the intervertebral foramen of two vertebrae stacked on top of each other. So from an incoming perspective, if we've got some sort of generic sensory receptor out in the body, maybe it's sensitive to touch, pressure, itch, tickle, vibration. Maybe it's a proprioceptive receptor out in our skeletal muscles. Maybe it's a pressure receptor in our blood vessels, just any kind of receptor anywhere in the body. The neuron that it's a part of is going to take information in through that spinal nerve, through the posterior root ganglion, and into the posterior gray horn. All right, and so in this ganglion, we have cell bodies of neurons. These are like unipolar neurons. So we've got a little cell body there, and information flow is in this way. Then we'll usually see a synapse with an interneuron, right? It might be on the same side of the spinal cord, but that interneuron might also cross over to the other side of the spinal cord. Either way, we'll just keep going on this side of the spinal cord here, the left side. And then that interneuron will synapse with a motor neuron, and that motor neuron will take information out to an effector. So effectors are always muscles and glands. So maybe you draw in a little muscle picture. Maybe you draw in a cell that's releasing some hormone, and that's a gland cell, right? But there's your spinal cord with some of the most important parts and also the direction of information flow.